Coming up on this special edition of INTV, we're in Dundee to celebrate 10 years of the Daily Mile. Around the world, some very important drivers put the Grenadier through its final tests. In Houston, there was a new Belstaff launch, but it's not what you think. All this and the latest news from around the INEOS group. This is INTV. Hello and welcome to INTV with myself, Tom Crotty, here at the Daily Mile headquarters in London.
And me, Ursula Heath, at a very special event here in Baxter Park, Dundee, where 800 local children are getting ready to do their Daily Mile.
In this episode, we're celebrating 10 years of the Daily Mile, the brainchild of Elaine Wiley, which started in a Stirling primary school and has gone on to get over 3 million children worldwide moving.
To celebrate the occasion, we've put together a feature documentary telling the story of how it all began and what we've learned along the way.
In 2012, I was head teacher of St Ninian's Primary School in Stirling. We had 420 children who came from a broad range of backgrounds. I thought as a head teacher that we were a really successful, sporty school. We were really successful at local athletics. Our success at sport locally masked the fact that many of our children were completely unfit. 10 years of the Daily Mile. Amazing. I remember the very first day. I was covering a class of Year 5 children for PE, and I thought, I'm going to see if they can do the warm-up by running round the field and see how they get on. A handful of children could run round the field, no bother. The ones that play football or in the running club. But about 25 of the 31 children struggled really badly, were out of breath, had a stitch and couldn't do it. I thought, this is not right. This is absolutely shocking. We had a sit down with the children and I said to them, how do you think you did yesterday when you went for the run round the field? And they said, oh, it wasn't good. You know, they knew it wasn't good. And one boy said, we couldn't run the length of ourselves.
A positive difference was something that was quite quickly commented on by the teachers.
They were more settled, they were more focused, they had a good energy. So I suppose this was after the first couple of days. The mental health benefits started really early on and the children were coming in glowing.
Physical activity can help a child's ability to focus. So it can help them stay on task in class. It can help them control their emotions so that they don't blurt out in class when they're not supposed to. It seems to do this by influencing something called executive function.
Our executive functions are some of the first things that get impacted when we're stressed or when we're unhappy or when our physical health isn't functioning. And it includes a really wide range of cognitive processes, things like our attention, our memory, how well we can switch between doing different activities, how well we can ignore distracting information. And all of these processes come under this umbrella of our executive functions.
And within 2 or 3 weeks, most of them could run around the field without stopping, which was an incredible difference from the previous state of affairs. And in that first month, all the core principles of the Daily Mile were created and they have never changed to this day. Other teachers and parents started to kind of chat my door, as we say in Scotland, and say, can our children not do this? And then by the summer holidays, the whole school. It was the daily 15 minutes, and that was apparently quite revolutionary to do exercise for a time, not a distance. They did it every day. They averaged a mile. It was the Daily Mile. The first piece of research into the Daily Mile was done by the Universities of Stirling and Edinburgh, and it was led by Dr. Colin Moran.
We quickly approached St Ninian's Primary and asked if we could do some research on this really exciting physical activity scheme that they had introduced. There were lots of anecdotal reports about how good it was for kids' physical health, how good it was for their learning, how good it was for their well-being and their behaviour, but actually nobody had done any well-controlled scientific research at that stage. So we recruited 2 local schools, just under 400 kids, and we were able to measure things related to their health just before and after a period of several months, where one of the schools introduced doing the Daily Mile and the other school felt that they couldn't do that. They felt like they didn't have the space. And that allowed us to compare changes in health between the schools and see if introducing the Daily Mile really made the kids fitter or not. What we found was that the kids who did the Daily Mile were a little bit fitter. They had lower skin folds, so they carried a little bit less body fat after doing the Daily Mile. And they definitely were more physically active and less sedentary.
The critical piece of research was that they lost fat from their skin folds. So this would impact at scale on obesity levels in children.
2016, we sent an email to Elaine Wiley.
And it said she was from INEOS, inviting me to speak at the Go Run for Fun event. And I said to John, have you heard of INEOS?
Nope, never had heard of them.
No.
We thought they were some kind of small charity that was just managing to get by, so we thought, we'll pay for our expenses, we'll go down to London, help them out, and that's all we expected. But of course, when we arrived there, it was quite different. They had hired the Olympic Park for this event. When we went in, there were thousands of children there.
Who's ready to go run for fun now?
There were 3 people and myself who were going to give a 5-minute presentation each about their area. And the doctor who specialises in obesity research couldn't see a way forward. Nothing had worked. I was kind of screaming inside because, is it believable? But we had changed that. I could put my hand in my heart and say all 420 children in the school are fit.
So the next step, of course, was an invitation to go down to meet with Jim.
I remember the way he listened. He listened really carefully and he completely got it. I didn't need to go into a long explanation. He just got it, and the Daily Mile Foundation was set up.
Both Go Run for Fun and the Daily Mile are both sort of targeted at trying to improve children's health by introducing the sort of concepts of regular exercise. Both these foundations, trying to get to the heart of that.
We have, since the beginning of INEOS, been very, very passionate about health and fitness.
There's been an awful lot of research done in the Daily Mile. 16 universities have looked into various aspects of it.
We find that there is this good relationship between their fitness and their visual spatial working memory. So those who are fitter had better working memory than those who are less fit. The memory that you use if you've got to remember a phone number, for example, if you want to do some multiplication in your head rather than the calculator.
I would like to see the Daily Mile as a recommendation for all schools.
It's unlike any other program we've ever tried to implement. I've never seen the kind of level of enthusiasm.
Often we think that, we must finish a particular task or children must do their homework, and actually sometimes going out and doing a walk or a run can really help.
After we come back from the mile, we feel better and we start doing our work faster.
When we come in the morning, it's like we're really tired, and then when we have our mile, we get like our mind is fresh.
I feel sort of like a warm feeling inside, and I'm quite proud of myself.
It actually gets me out as well, and I think it's a part of my daily exercise. So I'm doing it with the children, and it's become a part and parcel. If I don't do it, I feel a bit uneasy. Something has been missing today.
In the future, I'm looking forward to the growth of the Daily Mile globally, which has so far been spectacular, and I really hope that continues. And being part of sensational events like the World Athletics Championships and seeing the Daily Mile there, where I think it should be, right at the heart of a huge sporting event.
I can't believe that kids all around the world are doing the Daily Mile. My nephews in Ireland do the Daily Mile. I can't tell you how delighted I was when I heard that.
I went on the Daily Mile!
And did you love it?
Yeah!
Elaine, looking back over the last 10 years, how's it been?
It's been absolutely incredible. It started off really small, just one school, and INEOS got involved, and that just made it global. So it's been absolutely incredible.
Fantastic. And if you could wish one thing for the next 10 years, where's the goal?
So the Daily Mile is already global, and I would like it to be in every country and in every school.
Fantastic. So you're not retiring yet then?
So I'm retired. Actually, I'm not retiring. I have no plans to retire. No.
Fantastic.
From the Daily Mile to the Final Mile. Yes, 2022 is also a very special year for the INEOS Grenadier, with the first 4x4s rolling off the production line very soon. And after 1.1 million miles of brutal testing, the prototypes are being handed over for their final miles to some very special drivers.
It takes a monumental team effort to develop a winning car. It requires dedication, expertise, and above all, a passion for what you're doing.
Finishing off now 1.1 million miles of testing. It's a massive team effort. We couldn't do this by ourselves. I mean, we brought all the partners together and specialists.
We have this collaboration, obviously, if we can cross-pollinate each other with our high-tech engineering, it's great. So should we dial it up a little bit? This is unbelievable. Yes. You know, I'm driving like on a rally.
Something like this you can only create if you have good partners and good teams and people that really care.
You need to be passionate about it.
Welcome to the final mile.
Thank you very much. Looking forward to it. In Formula One, we work with a team of 2,000 people. And it's not one single individual who makes that difference. It's the 2,000 people coming together, working together to make that end product even better.
We have a great kind of pressure in this, in that we've got something amazing that customers are really waiting for. Brought you out here into the heat, into the middle of the desert. I think it's time to throw you the keys and we'll see what you think later.
Let's go for it. Definitely feels a bit different to my Formula One car, that is for sure. Oh, massive bumps here, gliding over it, awesome. I mean, I've not driven on sand that often before, but I can't believe how easily it's gliding across the surface.
It feels good. Yeah. Yeah, it has power. Yeah. I think this car you can actually drive over 1,000 kilometers and you cannot get tired.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've done this before, I can see, definitely.
Yeah.
Should we hop into the next car? Yeah, this is one of the most scenic, beautiful roads in Africa.
Yeah, it's really soft and with good suspension. Comfortability actually for the whole driving. The steering is amazing. It's really a good car.
Well,
well, I just grew up in New Zealand playing rugby, and it's something we've always been pretty good at on a world stage and pride ourselves in.
Pretty good at? I think you might be undercalling it there. How do you feel about taking it to the next level?
Apprehensive. Just never an off-roader. This is changing my mind rapidly though, because it's so awesome to drive. So certainly no expert, Justin, but
no. You're a natural talent at it, mate.
Quite easily be on a road at the moment in terms of the comfort, the ease of the drive. Just the vehicle taking care of anything that's thrown at it. How easy was that?
Too easy.
Not because of my drive.
No.
I'm not trying to claim credit for that.
I absolutely love it here. Snowdonia, my favourite place in the world. No doubt about it. You know, here being able to drive the Grenadier as part of its 1.1 million mile voyage into its last kind of mile is...
she's had a good run.
That has got your name all over it. You're the expert in the water, Ben. Let's put it through its paces through next. Focus. God, it handles that well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You can push this car as hard as you push them boats.
Yeah.
Then probably the best test drive we'll ever have.
Yeah. Hopefully we don't have too many crashes.
The end of the road here, Ben.
Very well done.
Overcoming the challenges is what makes the end goal so much more rewarding when you finally achieve it. You must test the boundaries and push the limits of what you previously thought possible to achieve true greatness.
I'm here with Mark Tennant, Commercial Director of INEOS Automotive. And Mark, it's been a busy few months, but you must be pretty excited by the feedback.
Yeah, it really has. It's been so exciting. We're getting closer and closer to putting keys in the hands of customers, which is going to be a great moment.
You're about to literally hit the market.
Yeah, literally. So just a couple of weeks ago, we put out all the specifications, all the prices for the launch markets. Not for everywhere, because we're starting in predominantly in Europe. North America, for example, will be launching in 2023. So a bit of a longer wait for colleagues over the pond, as it were.
And are we ready on production?
Well, that's all going well. The factory in Hambach's getting used to building prototypes and has been doing so, as you know, for some months. Yep. And we're now moving into the launch series phase very shortly. So we'll be having saleable cars rolling down the line in July.
And when do you think people will just get to that bit they really want, which is to sit and drive away in a Grenadier?
Well, we're doing a lot of that with the prototypes now. I think a big part of our summer exercise is getting people who've been interested, have put reservations down, giving them an opportunity to test drive. But in terms of giving people the keys and saying off you go, that will happen at the end of July.
Excellent. Mark, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
One person who knows quite a lot about launches is Belstaff CEO Fran Miller. But earlier this year, she was a guest of honour at a completely different type of launch.
It's really exciting to be here at the Morgan's Point Terminal of Enterprise Products. It's the third time we've had the chance here to bring a new vessel into our fleet. It's such an impressive vessel, the 99,000 cubic metres, the largest ethane carrier in the world.
unbelievable. I literally cannot believe how big it is. You sort of see it in the videos and on photos, and it's just incomprehensible when you're here. It's huge. I'm honoured to be invited by Pacific Gas and INEOS Trading and Shipping to be the godmother here today. The name chosen for this vessel is the Pacific INEOS Belstaff. And Belstaff is the brand name of a clothing company owned by INEOS, which has the famous slogan, "Built for Life." I hereby name this vessel Pacific INEOS Belstaff, and I wish for calm seas and safe sailing for her and her crew wherever she may trade. Thank you very much. Bon voyage. Funnily enough, I haven't launched a ship before, but I was delighted to launch this one. Well, I'm not sure how it normally works, but I did a speech down on the dock, and then I was allowed to go up onto the deck of the boat, which was pretty cool. So yeah, amazing. Felt like actually a really nice environment. Not that I'm sure I'd want to spend 6 months on it, but phenomenal, big. I'm amazed that such a small crew can run such a huge ship, and just the amount of technology and innovation and the sort of feat of engineering that goes into something like that, it's quite mind-blowing. I've worked across a variety of projects, and every day at INEOS is something new and a new challenge, and being able to come to Houston and do something like this is just another incredible, amazing thing to come and do as part of the INEOS family.
Gift for you. Thank you for naming our vessel.
Thank you very much indeed for having me. It's a real privilege, thank you. And from us, this is for you and your crew as well.
Thank you,
So
thank you.
Thank you very much. So lovely to meet you.
Introducing this new vessel to our fleet is a clear sign of our commitment to develop that floating pipeline and deliver more ethane to our crackers in Europe and to develop the trading business that we have in the rest of the world.
It's a phenomenal company to work for. It's something that I'm really proud to be a part of, and you know, the size and scale of something like this ship just shows the kind of ambition and the scale of what the business can do and achieve when it puts its mind to it.
The Daily Mile is already in 87 countries across 6 continents, with over 3 million children running every day. But there's one place where we feel we can do even better.
The Daily Mile helps your brain focus, and it helps you learn a lot when you get your wiggles or exercise out.
When the Daily Mile was brought to me, in my brain I'm thinking, okay, that's 15 minutes out of the classroom, that's 15 minutes away from curriculum. But I sort of regrouped myself, and I thought to myself, these kids need this. And now I'm the biggest advocate for the Daily Mile. I'm trying to get all of the elementaries in Galveston ISD to flow with it as well.
We've seen some relative success in the US, but I think it's quite hard. It's quite a crowded market. It's a changing in culture and changing environment for some schools, but they see the benefits quite quickly.
The teachers who have decided to do the Daily Mile in the United States absolutely love it. The biggest feedback is they get to connect with their students during the Daily Mile outside, away from the classroom.
My favorite part of the Daily Mile is that you can talk to your friends, and you can like jog and run and skip a little bit.
Sometimes we race it. My teacher, Miss Chambers, we give her like a 10-second head start, but we still beat her.
We do writing after the Daily Mile, and before we started it, my students were really only able to write a couple sentences, but once we started doing the Daily Mile, they get exercise, they're up and going. We come back in the classroom, and they're able to focus, they're able to write for about 30 minutes, and we started writing books and everything just because of the Daily Mile.
Today's child is more stimulated than children in the past. We have to compete with screens. You can't be overly stimulated and thinking at the same time. A Daily Mile is there to recharge. I get way overly excited about this because it's so important, and I'm so glad that Daily Mile is out here.
So one of the kind of key strategic kind of ambitions for the US was to try and find some partners. So this year we've got the World Athletics Championships taking part in Oregon in July, and we thought that would be a great catalyst really to raise the profile of the Daily Mile across the US to really showcase the brand.
We've partnered with them as their youth program, and we'll do a lot of activation in Oregon, and hopefully we'll have a very big event in July to celebrate the Daily Mile.
And excitingly, we're announcing that USA Track and Field, our first kind of proper implementation partner to fast track it like we've done across Europe.
The ambition for the Daily Mile in the United States is to continue to grow. We would love to be at 90% in most cities. That would be wonderful, but just to keep rolling the program out and have more than 1 or 2 schools in all states.
Since January to where we are now in Q1, we've had more schools sign up in this kind of quarter than the whole of last year. So we are doing something right, but I think once we have this World Championships in July, we're hopefully going to hit some proper records and challenge Europe at some point.
We do what we do as educators to make a difference in children's lives, and this program makes that difference.
There's more than 3 million kids doing the Daily Mile across the globe, and they're loving it. So if your school's not doing the Daily Mile, why not?
We've seen that there's a lot to look forward to over the next few months. But in the meantime, let's catch up with some of the other stories from around the INEOS group.
In April, INEOS Nitriles announced plans for a new 15 kiloton per annum state-of-the-art acetonitrile production facility at our key operating site in Cologne, Germany. INEOS is already the world's biggest producer of acetonitrile, a product critical in the production of pharmaceuticals, agrochemicals, and bioscience. With sustainability at its core, the facility will substantially improve the continuity of supply to European and global markets, as well as help reduce our carbon footprint. In February, INEOS Aromatics invested 70 million modernising its PTA plant in Merk, Indonesia. The 500,000 tonne per annum site plays a leading role in the Indonesian polyester industry, and upgrading the facilities will mean not only increasing capacity by 15%, but will also reduce the plant's CO2 emissions by 15%, and in doing so, help the industry move towards a more sustainable future. INEOS and gas pipeline company SGN are working together to bring hydrogen distribution networks a step closer to reality in the UK. The trial, which is part funded by the energy regulator, will use hydrogen supplied by INEOS in a 29-kilometre section of a decommissioned natural gas pipeline between the Grangemouth site and the SGN project site in Granton. The project will help determine how existing networks could be repurposed for hydrogen and therefore provide UK homes and businesses with a clean alternative to natural gas. The Danish Energy Agency has announced that it will award 26 million euros to the INEOS-led consortium backing Project Greensand. The carbon storage project will support Denmark's ambitions to reach 70% CO2 reduction by 2030 and is the single largest grant ever awarded in Denmark. The interest in the INEOS Grenadier over the last few years has been overwhelming, and now customers can take one step closer to ownership. 18th of May was G-Day for INEOS Automotive, and they're now officially taking orders. This means customers in selected markets can now order their Grenadier, and the first cars will be rolling off the production line in July.
Things are winding up here in surprisingly sunny Dundee, but I hope you've all been inspired to get out and do your Daily Mile. It's now time for my 15 minutes, so I'll bid you farewell and hand you back to Tom for a special treat for the end of the show.
Thanks, Ursula. So as you can see here at INEOS, we are committed to the cause. Now, before I head off for my 15 minutes, I'm going to leave you with a sneak peek of our first ever US commercial for the Daily Mile. Enjoy.
They call us Generation Unfit. That's not fair. Or even legit. Because some of us run the Daily Mile. I jog. I fly. I roll with a smile. It takes 15 minutes. It's not very hard. You don't need heat clothes. You just need a yard. I do it slow. I do it fast. And I do it because... Shh. It helps me focus in class. Give children's mental and physical health a real boost with the Daily Mile. Go online now to join thousands already taking part.